Welcome into Wednesday here on the Desmond Johnson Show, and that means it is High School Football Wednesday, and we are here. Busy season has arrived. Week 1 of the 2025 football season here across the state of North Carolina. Desmond Johnson here with you. My co-host on Wednesdays during football season, Marc Pruitt from the Winston Salem Journal, and Tiesuan Brown, head coach of the Mount Tabor Spartans, who are now officially with Tobacco Road on a sports network. Will have their home games for football this season, as well as men's basketball in the winter. Shout out to Truth Network, Bobo's Deli and Grill, and the Downtown Winston-Salem Partnership for making that happen. We'll talk about that, what to expect for Mount Tabor's opening game here on Friday, and much, much more. Plus, we got Alan Plaster, the athletic director for East Forsyth, and Joe McCormick, the athletic director for Glenn, coming on as well to discuss the reclassifications, how hard it was to book games, all this kind of stuff going on that a lot of people don't get to see behind the scenes. And then we'll get Marc's Big Three for Friday, August 22nd. Let's get into it. It's the Desmond Johnson Show. High school football. Let's go.
Live with Desmond Johnson, son, the live is one. Represent NC to the fullest.
Yeah, welcome to the Carolinas. Everywhere you go, the sky is Carolina blue, the finest. Live action, feedback, the city need that. I've been #1, no cap. Here's the recap. Adrenaline is my addiction. I'm about to relapse. Step on the turf if you won't and get your weed whacked. I'm going harder than a martyr on the starter end. It's the heart of man, that's a rap like a cardigan. I'm breaking records, it's 4th and inches, I count the seconds. The over-under's my roar of thunder, my secret weapon. Yeah, the game is to be told. I don't break, I break modes. Follow me on Tobacco Road.
Live with Desmond Johnson, son, the live is one. Represent NC to the fullest.
And welcome into the Desmond Johnson Show live here on Tobacco Road Sports Radio, tobaccoroadsportsradio.com. You can watch it every Tuesday, Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. live, and now Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. live over on WWBG 1470 AM and across all of our social media platforms. Brought to you, of course, by Nikki Rottweiler over at Head Realty Group EXP. Again, Marc Pruitt in the house from the Winston-Salem Journal. I'm sure you haven't been busy this week at all, Marc, with nothing really going on. And then we got Coach Brown in the house from Mount Tabor.
Is this a week? I don't know. We're
going to find out. We're going to find out. Friday, there's a lot of hot games going on Friday. But, Coach, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Y'all called it, man. This is week 1. It's go time right now.
Man, I've been waiting all summer to finally get to this week, and now the week is here, and I'm like, I don't have enough time to to get everything done, but that's okay. It's our favorite time of the year. And again, I mentioned Mount Tabor now as a sports network here with Tobacco Road Sports Radio, joining some of our other schools here, so we'll have coverage with them, which actually means, Coach Brown, that your coach's show, this is a perfect place to announce it, your coach's show, Spartans Live, will actually be at Bobo's Deli and Grill over on Robin Hood Road, just right around the corner from the school, and it'll be at 7:30 p.m. on Monday evenings. Mike Fanning will be the host. I believe his son's helping out with that as well, so we'll get with Mount Tabor and spread the word about that. If you're a Mount Tabor Spartan, come out, support the Spartans. They'll be talking about the results of this opening game. But how's it been this offseason preparing for this, Coach, and just basically knowing that you guys were getting put in a different conference than what you've been in the past 4 or 5 years in the CPC?
Man, it's been a breath of fresh air, man. We have a new team. We lost a lot of good seniors, and we got a new group coming in. We only have 12 seniors. So it's been challenging, but at the same time, it's got me encouraged. And so we had a longer summer, and I've been extremely excited about it. And we did a lot this summer, and I had a really good time, and I'm ready to see what these young Spartans could do.
I've seen you guys the last 2 weeks at scrimmages, Coach, and at your place, and then at North Forsyth last week. What have you learned about your guys the last couple of weeks? And what are some areas you still think you got to improve on before Friday against Reagan, former CPC rival? Where are you guys right now?
Well, the first week, I knew that going into the season that we're going to have to simplify some things. This is a young group, and here at Mount Tabor, we throw a lot at you. We brag about getting kids ready for college, but I have to take my time with this group. We can't just dive right into it. So we had to cut some things out and let these guys play some football and let them play fast. And this past Friday, they was able to do that, and we played a lot cleaner on both sides of the ball. And we caught some rhythm, man. We didn't have as many flags thrown on us this past Friday. But that's going to be key. That's gonna be
How hard was it, Coach Brown, Coach Tiesuan Brown joining us from Mount Tabor's football program? How hard was it with the main thing I've heard from different coaches and athletic directors, and we'll have Joe and Alan on here in just a bit, and they can go into a little bit more in depth, but how hard was it for you guys to schedule non-conference with the change to 8 classes? Because when I look around and I see some of the schedules from the different teams that moved on to different divisions and things of that sort, different classifications, it feels like non-conference got loaded up for a lot of people. We get to see a lot of different matchups we normally wouldn't see. How do you feel about your non-conference slate and taking on Reagan week 1, a familiar foe from the CPC? But your schedule as a whole, as I'm looking through your non-conference, you've got Reagan opening up at Reagan, hosting Lake Norman. We'll have that game August the 29th. Then at Page, at West Forsyth, and then at Northwest Guilford. So you got a little slate there of 3 road games in your non-conference before you start your conference play. Thoughts on how the schedule came together?
It was kind of disappointing, man. I like to keep those natural rivals in the town, but we couldn't make it work. So I was just thankful that I was still able to play Reagan and West Forsyth, and that was key for us. We live in an open enrollment community here in Forsyth County. So, the kids here, man, they want to play against guys they went to middle school against and things like that. And so we had to go out and find some different games. I felt like Lake Norman is an up-and-coming program in football. We always played them in basketball, and I got a chance to talk to the AD. I met the football coach, and we put that thing together. And, we've been playing Page. We felt like that they had a really good young class, and we felt like that was going to be a good test for us going forward. And we're playing Northwest Guilford. We haven't played them in a very long time, but that was just one of them situations. We wanted to get a good challenge going in the conference. And you always got to think about the RPI as well. You can go out here and schedule a cupcake schedule if you want to. You're going to find yourself on the road in the first round of the playoffs.
Especially now where it feels like conference champions don't matter as much in terms of how they place it. It's all RPI now. So I've seen a lot of teams like load up in that non-conference just so that sometimes a loss actually helps you out a little bit more than beating a team later on in the schedule that might not be as good. So it'll be interesting to see how they do this across the classes. Marc, you got another question for Coach Brown before we get him out here?
I think the most obvious, Coach, this year, you got your son back there behind center, sophomore, starting quarterback. What's that dynamic been like so far? I know he spent last year on the JV team, and you were kind of around that, but it's a little bit different now being up on varsity with Dad. So how's that dynamic been working for you so far, and how do y'all draw that line?
I didn't think it would be a big difference, but I was wrong. It is. It's a huge difference. Just starting off in the spring, my wife was like, you already look stressed out. And I was like, it's a lot of pressure. And she was like, what you mean? I said, well, this team is different. Kinks is on this team, and it brings a lot of different vibes to the football team. And, I'm going to be daddy off the field, but on the field, I got to be coach. And, at first it made the home life a little difficult, but he understands it. I had a long conversation with him that, you're going to be the flagship with this team. And so you're going to have to take that beating when I come down on you. And he understands it. And, at first it was hard on him. It was very hard on him. And, I was like, I'm going to treat you just like everybody else. And he didn't understand it at first, but now he gets it and he takes it. And I've been seeing him being more of a leader. I know he's a young guy, but he's been around the game and he's going to watch all the greats come through Mount Tabor. And so he know how to carry himself. He know the right things to say. And just proud of him up until this point. And, not to put no pressure on him, man. I'm just excited to see how he handles himself on the road. My buddy Lamar Marshall, he picked at me. He said, He said, "Boy, you didn't cut him no slack. He opening up against this North Carolina Duke right here."
Right.
Like,
yeah.
and I said, "He'll be all right." But like I tell him, man, you don't have to go out there and win it yourself, man. You got a really good football team around you, and just go out there and be a point guard.
Well, the Mount Tabor Spartans will be taking on the Reagan Raiders on the road to start off the season. And you can catch their second game of the season hosting Lake Norman. That'll be a huge game, actually. I believe it's a WTOB game of the week also that we'll be sending to them. You'll be able to hear that on Friday, August the 29th. That game at Reagan kicks off at 7 p.m. You can buy your tickets over on Max Preps, or you can get them over, I believe, on the Reagan website. You can buy them over there. Coach, we will see you on Monday for Spartans Live over at Bobo's Deli and Grill.
Looking forward to it.
Talking about a Spartan victory.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it, man. I met a couple guys that's going to be hosting it, and I'm excited about it. And I've been telling all my family that lives far away, listen in. I've been watching East Forsyth do it for a long time. I'm just glad Mount Tabor got one too.
Me too. I'm glad. Hey, that's perfect part right there for us to. School as periods are changing over at Mount Tabor. We're going to go ahead and let Coach Brown go, and we will see him on Monday. We're going to bring in some heavy hitters here. Alan Plaster from East Forsyth High School, the athletic director there, and Joe McCormick, the athletic director over at Glenn High School. And what do you know, Marc? East Forsyth and Glenn take on each other. Opening week, Friday, 7 o'clock over at the Nest. Myself and Rod Funderburk will be on the call for that. Gentlemen, I see you're both busy. You're both in your car. So
I
you guys in the middle of doing something. Like, let me run in the car real quick and do this. How y'all doing?
Just working, man. Just working. Trying to get ready for
in the state ready.
Yep. Trying to get everything ready for tomorrow. We have JV football tomorrow.
That's right. East. Yeah. So the JV be over at Glenn tomorrow, taking on the Bobcats. So really, we wanted to get you guys on because I wanted to get it from a perspective of the athletic directors. And we've been asking all the coaches we've had come in. We've had Daryl Brown, we've had Todd Willard, we just had Tyshawn Brown in the house. How hard was it to actually schedule these games in the off season with the reclassification to 8 classes? Now I know we were kind of at a sub-8, 4 years ago when it was subclasses for football, but everything else was still 4 classes. Now everything is in 8 classes. As an athletic director, does it drive you nuts trying to figure out how to schedule this with the new conferences and everything else? Because it feels like there's a lot of new matchups that are going to happen that normally wouldn't happen if we had the same configuration before. Joe, I'll start off with you. Moving out of the CPC and conference, how hard was it to actually set this up?
Yeah, so for us, it's we have been in the same conference with East Forsyth for 12 years, and prior to that, we were 3A and they were 4A, but we always played them in everything, But prior to this realignment, you always found out what your conference was going to be way earlier than we did this year, and that had to do with a lot of dynamics with the new MOU that the state State Board of Education has with the NCHSA, and everything's computerized now, so we could wait longer to get the numbers that we had to wait longer, and then by the time we did, it's trying to fit the schools that you want to play that are no longer in your conference, that you would always play. We got East Forsyth on the football schedule as quick as possible, but unfortunately for us, we got to be ready to strap it up week 1 against probably our toughest opponent of the year.
I do remember, and Plaster, maybe you can correct me, but I feel like before you guys came back into the CPC, when we were still split out, the East and Glenn played like week 1 then, didn't they? Didn't you guys used to play like week 1 or real early?
It was early. It was sometime between week 1 and week 3. It just depended on the year because it was just where we could fit it in. Because you really, for football in particular, you try to balance your schedule. We have 10 games. You want 5 home, 5 away. You don't want to get too imbalanced because, football is, that's your ticket for as far as athletic. For sure.
Hey, Plaster, it's saying that your mic is unplugged because I tried to unmute you and it's not letting me unmute you. Is there a way for you to take the mic out? Or I think you're on a Bluetooth or something. There you go. Can you hear us? He's having some issues. You know what? It was funny. Willard was having issues when we had him on last week. Remember, he was on campus.
I did.
And
Yeah.
he was complaining about the internet. Yeah, he's complaining about the internet over it. He's like, man, I can't get out. They won't let me shoot out for anything. So maybe Plaster will drive up the street to One Stop real quick and rejoin us here. We got Joe McCormick on the line here with us, the athletic director of Glenn High School here in Kernersville, North Carolina, as we get ready for week 1. Marc, what questions? Oh, actually, we got Plaster back. Can you hear us?
There they are. I love to see these
Yeah,
guys.
we can hear you. Well, actually, I think so. Say something again.
Are you there? I'm back in here trying.
There's Plaster.
Yeah, are you on campus still over at East? The WAP, because Willard was cussing it out last week when we had him on. He was complaining about the WAP over at East last week, so that might be it. You might have to drive up to the baseball field or something. Marc, what question did you have?
How excited is the town of Kernersville for Friday night? I know this is always circled on the calendar, but
it's funny when I was pulling up my trash can last night. The guy across the street asked me when the first football game was. His daughters went to Glenn years ago, and he said, "When's the first game?" I said, "Friday night." And he said, "Who are you playing?" I said, "East Forsyth." He goes, "Already?" So if people have to get surprised again that we're going to be playing, because we have been playing around Halloween for the last several years.
Yeah, like almost the last game of the year. Yeah.
And so it's getting used to, I guess, and we're going to be in short sleeves and sweat now, and we haven't been doing that in several years on Friday night.
Plaster does though. Plaster wears the shorts no matter the weather. So
you're right about that. I don't.
So I'm curious because actually when we were doing the Nest last night, and shout out to Jay Peppers, we apologize. We brought way more people than we anticipated for that show last night. It was crazy in there. But we were in there talking about this matchup. Rod mentioned some classic East Forsyth Glenn games that we've actually called, and he brought up one. It's probably my favorite one that happened. Once it was 2019, it was a triple overtime game at East. That was just a back and forth, and it ended almost like a movie. Like you had a kicker, you had a female kicker, and she was kicking like a 30-yard field goal or something to try to. I think it was to tie the game or something.
No, to win. It was to win in the second.
That's what it was. Yeah, they were going for it to win, and she kicked it. And Marc, I don't know if you were there or not for that night.
But Dan Kibler was there, and I remember hearing all about it.
Hit the crossbar and came back.
The crossbar and bounced back into the dead center of the crossbar and bounced back into and it was just pandemonium after that. And that's probably one of my favorite ones. And whenever I would speak to Coach Willard or folks over at Glenn about those matchups, they always mention 2020. Like that was a year where if they had gotten a chance to play each other, there'd been like 20 plus D1 kids on the field from both teams. And we didn't get a chance to get that. How special is it for you guys to be a part of this rivalry? Let's see if we can get Plaster in here for this one. I think he did start driving up the street. So I think he's pulling into One Stop right now. So what is it about this rivalry? Yeah, we got you clear now. Plaster, talk to me about this rivalry, because it is East has rivals with other schools, but Glenn's a little different, sharing the same city, and I know you guys share equipment and things of that sort. Like we were debating whether or not we were going to see if we can get you and Joe to have like a wrestling match or something while we had you on. But you guys are friends. Like you guys know each other. Like you talk to each other weekly. Like what's it like to be in this rivalry and for the K-Ville Cup on the East Forsyth perspective of it, Plaster?
Well, from my side, Joe and I probably talk at least days, sometimes more than that. And at one time, I think our rival was and I think on both sides of our kids and their kids. And I think
we can't hear him. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where you are, but we can't hear you. It's like garbled. I'm frustrated. I don't know what to do.
So just to reiterate, so him and I, we talk multiple times a day. I mean, this is actually already the third time.
It's a baseball field.
Yep.
This
is the third time we talked to him today. I saw him at 8 a.m. this morning grabbing the robot because we share the field painter. We talked on the robot. We talked on the phone already once today, and then now here we are on the show together. We do a lot together, a lot. And, the rivalry, now is a little different than it was in the past, because when I first got to Glenn, I was telling Coach Willard this morning, my son's getting married Saturday. And I'm not going to be at the game Friday, and it's the first East Forsyth Glen game I haven't been at since 1999. So, so you know, it's fun when we're both good. There were some years where we both struggled, them towards the beginning and us, you know, in the middle. But it's fun. I mean, you know, the triple overtime game is one of my favorite games ever. We played them in the third round of the playoffs to a sold out stadium.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy. That was good too.
Sold 5,000 tickets. You know, and the week before, I don't know if you remember, but we beat Myers Park in overtime, and that was my favorite game until the next week after. And we lost that game, but it still be one of my favorite memories. Is
I remember Myers Park for a specific reason. Myers Park forgot where they were. Like when they ended that game and they lost, they walked into the parking lot like they were at Myers Park, and I was like, "No, you're at Glen." And like the Glen fans did not, they were not happy with Myers Park, so they had to get them out of there. And that playoff game too. That was like a 7-0 game or something like that. Well,
it ended up being, I think, 7-0. Yeah. The kid at Duke ran the opening kickoff back.
Quayshawn Brown ran back the opening kickoff like 98 yards, and that was it. Like it was a defensive battle the rest of the game. Yeah. Before I get you guys out of here, let me see if we've got plays. Actually, looks pretty clear now. I think you got up to the top of the hill. Can you hear us? He's frozen. No. You got any last things for McCormick, Marc?
No, I'll see you soon, and good look forward to it, and good luck with the wedding and stuff.
Fantastic.
Awesome. You know, he's getting married in Pinehurst in August, so he picked the hottest place in the country to get married.
You get some golf out of it at least.
So but the funny thing is, she went to East Forsyth and he went to Glen, and I told them they should have just got married on the 50-yard line on Friday.
Look at that. Yeah, we could have said that. Yeah,
6:50 p.m. But they didn't go for it. So she graduated from East, he graduated from Glen. They met at Carolina, their freshman year.
We need to make those house divided license plates for me. East and Glen on the other or whatever. That'd be hot. We can put that together. We will. I don't know if Plaster can hear us or not, but I will get you back on sometime in the next couple of weeks for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove him, get him out of his misery, and I'm gonna go ahead and let Joe go too. So, Joe, appreciate you coming through.
I appreciate y'all having me, man. I'll see y'all both soon. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Good deal.
Bye, y'all.
There he goes. And now and Plaster's back. I think he actually. Can you hear us? Can you? No, he's not.
I can hear you. You can hear me.
There he is.
Yeah, we can hear you a little bit. Before we let you go, talk to us a little bit about this East Forsyth Glen rivalry and why it's so important to the city of Kernersville. Nah, we lost. We lost them. Look, we're gonna set this up at another time, probably at your house, so that you can actually get in and out, and we'll pre-tape it or something. But we'll get you back. I'm gonna bring you back next week. How about that? I'm gonna bring you back next week. There you go.
All right, good deal.
And there it goes. Alan Plaster. We got to talk about the internet over there. I'm a little worried. I got to go over there and broadcast the game tomorrow. Oh, it's not on their internet, but
maybe they cut off the internet at East for budget concerns.
Hey, maybe. And you know what? I wanted to say something about that because they had the meeting yesterday and they're voting to give up like 300 plus jobs across the county. I know a lot of folks are scared in the media to say anything about it. Not me. Like I will sit here and talk about it all day long. The Winston-Salem Forsyth County school system, the board should be ashamed of themselves for what they have done and the jobs are going to get lost. We're sitting here right now worried that one of the coaches, one of the assistant principals, really all of them at East Forsyth that we're close to. My kids go to school there. My kid graduated from East Forsyth. I have another one that's starting as a freshman this year. My oldest had some issues. She came in through COVID. So she was, freshman year, she was there. By the end of freshman year, she was back at home on a laptop for a year and a half, and then had to come back and readapt there after being homeschooled in middle school. And there was particular teachers and assistant principals in particular at East Forsyth that without their help, she might not have graduated. Like they really stepped in and went above the call. And to see the school board basically just toss these jobs to the side to save money that they overspent themselves, it's just mind-boggling to me, and I hope that something comes along that can actually fix that situation. But I think they'll start talking about this next week in terms of who's going and who's not. But it's going to affect every school in the county. So it's one of those things where voting matters. Make sure you go vote in the midterms. Make your voices heard. That's the best thing I can say it. Marc, before we get out of here, though, what we normally do on Wednesdays we're finally here on a game week. We get your top 3 games in the triad this week, and I'm gonna give it to you. So game number 1, what you got cooking?
Well, I think it's not necessarily in the triad, but it's definitely probably 2 of the best teams in the state of North Carolina playing Friday night in Charlotte at the Keep Pounding Classic at Panther Stadium. Grimsley, the defending or reigning, as I like to say, 4A state champions, now a 7A school, going up against West Charlotte, the reigning 3A state champions, and now an 8A school. That's going to have all the eyeballs on it, I think. Faison, Brandon, and company going against West Charlotte, who has a plethora of D1 recruits on its team. That should be a fun game. I think Bryant Roach from the Greensboro News and Record is going down to cover that one, so we'll have a presence for that.
We actually have that game.
Be there.
So it's the WCOG game of the week, and also on Tobacco Road Sports Radio. Chase Williams and the coach James Willamie will be on the call. Actually, I'm sitting there right now waiting on a FedEx package from Panther Stadium for their media passes. That is not a 7:00 kickoff; it's an 8:00 kickoff.
8:00, and that should be a fun one, and it'll do wonders for both of their RPIs going forward.
Yeah, they're like the number 1 and 2 teams in the state or something like that.
Yeah. West Charlotte's already talked about as probably one of the 2 or 3 heavy favorites to win the 8A state title this year. So, and Grimsley is always amongst the names to listen to for the 7A now. So that one is going to be a big deal, I think. A lot of eyeballs.
Yeah. And before that game, actually, I was talking to Chase earlier today. He said he's going down. It's a double header. He's going down for the first game at 4:30. It's Huff taking on South Point, I believe it is. So he's going to watch that, and then they're going to get set up and do Grimsley and West Charlotte. So we'll have that game for you at 8:00 over on Tobacco Road Sports Radio on Friday. What else you got cooking?
Well, we talked about Glenn and East Forsyth a little while ago with Coach McCormick and Coach Plaster, so I won't really delve on that as much. That'll just be fun. If you want to commit a crime in Kernersville Friday night, that'll be the best time to probably go do it. There's nothing going on. There's going to be a lot of security presence there, I'm sure. So that's always a fun game, fun rivalry. East, I know, is loaded. Glenn, I think, kind of has an up-and-coming team again that has a chance to do some good things in the conference, the Piedmont Triad 6A, 5A that they're in now. East Forsyth will be one of the favorites in the Central Piedmont 4A or 7A, 8A. I'm still having a hard time saying that.
Yeah, it's hard to,
That will be a fun one to watch, as it always is, because you got friends playing against friends, neighbors playing against neighbors that literally live right across the street from each other. So,
and we have that game as well. That's the WTOB game of the week. That's on 980 AM and 97 or 96.7 FM. As well as TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com for the audio stream. That game is streamed by NFHS Network as well. We'll have our audio there on the East Forsyth stream. And again, the Nest with head coach Todd Willard, the East Forsyth coaches show that we did last night, that is now available on our podcast network. If you have not done so yet, we lost our original Spotify account. We had to redo a new one. So you might have to go back in and resubscribe to the new Spotify channel for Tobacco Road Sports Radio. Just search it. It'll pop up pretty easily, and you can listen to that. Shout out again to Jay Peppers for the hospitality last night. Are you coming out to Mossy's tonight?
I think so. I think my daughter has requested to go, so I should be there. And there's a lot of great games Friday night. This is, like I think we've talked about before, we're seeing a lot of teams that maybe don't normally play each other get to play each other. Some former conference rivalries playing against each other. For example, I'll be at the Mount Tabor Reagan game. West Forsyth is playing Davie County. Those are 2 former CPC rivals.
Yeah.
Parkland and Carver are playing. That's always a fun matchup. They used to have
Bowman Gray. I used to play in Bowman Gray back in the early 2000s. Yeah.
And then I think the other one I wanted to talk about, Reynolds is opening. It's brand new. It's the official kickoff for its brand new stadium, Doug Crater Field. That's been a long time coming. I've been working on a big story about that for the last week now. That'll be in the Journal on Friday. But Reynolds is playing North Forsyth, and that's one of the oldest rivalries in Forsyth County. And it's going to be a big deal Friday night. Going to be a lot of people there, I'm sure, to see kind of how things go that first week. So it's just it's just that exciting time of the year that people like you and me look forward to a lot. So
it's here, and it's going to fly quickly. So enjoy it while you can. A lot of great games Friday night. Again, our slate is loaded. We're the largest provider of high school live sport broadcasts in the Triad. WTOB game of the week, East Forsyth hosting Glenn, K Vegas Cup. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff, no pregame. Actually, I think my show will lead into that on WTOB, so you can hear the Desmond Johnson show best of the week, and then it goes into that at 7 o'clock. At 8 o'clock on WCOG, 1320 AM and 105.3 FM out in Guilford County, it's Grimsley taking on West Charlotte. There will be a pregame show for that. Chase Williams will be handling that at 7:30, followed by kickoff at 8 o'clock live from Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. So we've got 2 huge games starting off the season, and it just gets bigger after that. We've got an East Forsyth Grimsley matchup looming like week 3 or week 4 or something like that. That's going to be huge. Grimsley plays West Forsyth this year as well. So I think they play East and West back to back, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
He is at West Forsyth next Friday night, and then
hosting East. And that's going to be a loaded Jameson Stadium there too. So we're here. And again, later on tonight, check out Titans Talk, season 6 of Titans Talk with West Forsyth head coach Kevin Wallace, live from Mossy's Eats, Ales, and Spirits out in Clemens. We're back on the patio. Come join the fun. The West Forsyth athletic boosters will be out there. The parents will be out there. The students will be out there. And our new host, Jeff Marson, who's taking over for JP Monday, he will be in the house, and so will I. I'll be there as well producing. So come out, join the fun. If not, listen to it live at 7:30 on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. Marc will be back with us next Wednesday, previewing his next 3 games. We'll see if Alan Plaster can get better Wi-Fi service somewhere away from East Forsyth's campus. And who knows what we're going to do, but that'll be next Wednesday. You'll get recaps now too, before I get out of here. Recaps of those games from Friday night on the Saturday morning edition of the Desmond Johnson Show. That's why we moved it to Saturday morning. So may even pull, if Marc is not asleep, we might even pull Marc back in on Saturdays to talk about what he saw fresh from a couple hours prior. So we got you covered here. We will see you guys Saturday morning, where we recap all of this and we continue on with our NFL divisional previews. We will see you then.